I'm pretty positive we're good.
We're back again. Yay! I'm telling you, there's no reason for you to coach anymore. Again.
Oh my god! And I thought I was gonna be more free, but Jesus Christ!
Like, why even coach? Just put him in the metaverse.
Metaverse? I can't believe that's a thing.
Fuck, man.
That is a thing. I just read something about that. When was Nike came out with like the first shoe or something like that, and it went up for like 100,000 just for that damn shoe.
Adidas is on it now too.
Oh my god! I was
it's a thing, man. It is a thing.
I don't know why, but whatever. I guess it is. So, how long has it been? 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
2.
A month? 2 months?
This episode, what, 32?
I think we're on 32. Yeah. Yep. 32.
We our last episode was right before everything that happened. Like all this stuff happened. The Ballon d'Or, the Champions League draws.
Champions League. The 2 draws of the Champions League.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell happened there. But that was surprising. Ballon d'Or. So he said Ballon d'Or, Champions League draws. And then just games. Mostly, right? Nothing else. The international hasn't played that I can think of.
Why didn't you bring your Powerades? That was what for, wasn't it?
The what?
The Powerades that they gave you?
The drinks? Oh, I don't know. I forgot. I know, right? I just realized I don't have anything in front of me to drink, but yeah. I didn't think about it. Completely forgot. Should have set everything up here.
See, don't give him shit then. Just give it to me. He's an ungrateful bastard here.
Oh, shut up.
You gifts, man. For the fucking body. This is a good Powerade, man. Don't you drink that on your podcast?
I do.
Yeah. But not today.
I know. I drank one already.
You had one job.
I had one job to do. That's all I had to do was that.
Fucking A. But, yeah. All right. Next time. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll bring them.
So what?
Ballon d'Or, huh?
How do we feel about it?
I don't know. I mean, I told you. They were going to give it to him.
You said it on the podcast. You did.
They were going to give it to him based off of that. Like, it really felt like he did that. And, like, since then, he's just like, meh. I mean, he was like, I'm a shoo-in. I got it. He just basically punched his ticket with that. Like, it didn't seem like he could have sat out the last like 4 months.
He could have just played that tournament.
Yeah, and just sat out the rest of the year. Just I'm gonna just enjoy myself, and they were gonna give it to him. And I don't think anybody else could have done anything more. Like, I don't think it mattered what anybody else did, because there was really, other than that, it's just like, all right, you got to score like a bunch of goals from that point of hitting one to the end of the year. And you know what's funny is that I don't know if this is the first time they've done this or if this is a reoccurring thing. But from what I remember, I always thought the Ballon d'Or was given out in January.
It used to be.
But it hasn't been recently in January? Because I know that obviously the last one they didn't do it, but the one before that.
Recently, it was actually in December.
Oh,
by the end of the year. Like, I think the last one was in December.
Because the only reason why I remember that was because when the year he got the 90-some goals, he literally got it to, like, I remember it was like the last week of January or the last week of December, they had a game, and it was like he needed to score, like, I don't know, whatever, 2, and he broke. Oh, I think he broke it far beyond that, but then he still had more game. Like, he had like 2 games left within the year to do, like, put more for the record, to basically top the record or just put a stamp on it for the year. And then he did it, and then January came, and he, like, it was just obvious he was getting it. Like, there was no question about it in that year. But this year I was like in December, and I was like, early December? Wasn't expecting that. I was like, I thought January, because I think, what's his name, Lewandowski, I think just tied the record with Ronaldo for most goals in a year.
Yeah.
And I think he has another game. No, I think they're
calendar
done.
Year.
Yeah, in a calendar year. So I was thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, if he beat Ronaldo, maybe they would have at least given him a better shot at considering if they went into January at least. But I don't know. I think with him winning, and I think Lewandowski's going to play his game and do what he does, but I feel like if they knew more or less, like, okay, it's not till January, and maybe Lewandowski kind of like, I'm going to push a little bit more, maybe try to get closer to that 91. I mean, he's not going to get 91, but get closer to that 91 and actually surpass Ronaldo, because as far as it seems like, Messi has the most goals in the calendar year, and then Ronaldo second with, I think he had like 69, and then Lewandowski just tied it, and I don't think he's gonna break that. So if he does, he would have. Let's just say he actually tried. He would have probably got like to like let's just say 72. I mean, maybe then they probably would have considered it because he at least did that much in a year, considering the teams that he's on, considering the teams that he played. I don't know, but it just seemed like that was probably the only way he probably would have had a chance if he really was trying to go for Ballon d'Or, was to either beat Messi's 91 goal record or so, or at least be somewhat close to that to say, hey, look, I did this with the team that I have, and da, 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 da. But yeah, it didn't seem like winning. I think anything would have done wouldn't have taken it away from Messi, because I mean he did what he did. I'll give him credit, but it's like I don't know. I've seen better years out of him to get it than this year. I mean, like I said, people are gonna criticize. Oh, he won. Okay, yeah, he won it. Great, he finally won it. It's fantastic. I'm not gonna take that away from him, but it's like there's been other years where it was just like some probably have the same stats as that, similar to that, and then they still didn't get anything. I don't know. I just think it just held more value to the fact that he won with Argentina than anything else. Like, he could have scored 10 goals all year, but if he won with Argentina and put 2 goals in that final or whatever, it's like, that's yours. It's like that year when when Ronaldo hit that 3 in the qualifier, and then you're like, he got Ballon d'Or with that. I was like, yeah, probably. I was like, you can forget about the whole year because that game was probably more memorable than anything else, and it was with Portugal. And it was the dying game. It was like the last game. And if he
Sweden.
Yeah,
Playoff one.
And he hit the hat trick in the basically the qualifier. It was
to win the playoff.
Yeah, to go to the it was the playoff game, whatever. And I think you're like, yeah, you see, like that got involved. I'm pretty sure it did. I was like, nobody else will remember any other game probably other than that one that year with those 3 goals. I was like, 3 goals got him Ballon d'Or. I was like, he could have done and nothing else, and I'm pretty sure that's what got him it.
I think the Ballon d'Or is very tricky now, and it's from the patterns that I've seen.
Oh yeah,
there's a year that it makes sense, and there's a year that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
because I've noticed that they do. When there's a country tournament, that rides heavily on what they do, which is kind of somewhat dumb. But then again, I understand because it's not every year these tournaments, right?
Yeah.
So, in order to Messi to get this, that tournament had to be there. If not, of course he wouldn't have won.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I said in one of the last part, I gave him all the credit to finally winning. I wanted that. I said I wanted to see him win for Argentina finally.
Yeah.
But like we spoke in the last podcast, it was very underwhelming because of the team that he played and how it just wasn't up to like the Europa League, the Euro Cup.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't making. It just didn't have the level that I thought it would be. But again, I still gave him the credit where credit is due to win that.
Yeah.
But to go into specifics, I'm starting to see like I'm starting to see like little like patterns and like how they talk about it, and it's like it's making more sense how certain people vote and how the points are and this and that, and it's like, well, yeah, if these guys are diehard certain fans of this guy and biased, they're gonna vote for him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like how it was in the beginning when we were like, I think we talked about this, man, maybe in the first like couple episodes when we did this, when we're talking about them, was like the standard that they put was no longer, it wasn't in the sense of like, okay, who can win what, in terms of like Champions League and this, it's like who's gonna score the most goals that year.
Right.
And then it became, okay, who's winning Champions League and who's winning this? Like, it kind of became that. And then it was like, I think the year that neither one of them won it, but they both put like ridiculous numbers in goals. It's like, okay, we got to give it to them. And then it was like reversed. It's like, well, they put numbers up in goals, not as high as they normally would, but one of them won Champions League that year and they gave it to them. And then the other one won Champions League, so they gave it to him, like, and I think now it's like, well, shit, who else do we give it to? Because really nobody else is playing like these guys in some sense, or I guess in the idea of what they're able to do. Because, I mean, if Lewandowski would have won Champions League that year and still had the goals he has now, I still think he gets it. I still think he gets it. But just because he didn't win really anything other than his league, it's like...
Well, that's what people are saying. Is like, how is it fair if he's on a team like Poland?
Yeah.
And when you have Cristiano in Portugal, and you have Messi that's Argentina, they have a better chance to showcase with that country.
Yeah.
So it's like saying like, well, all these players like Mo Salah, he's never going to win a World Cup. He'll have an African Cup, but nobody really watches that at a certain level like other players, you know. So it's very, I don't know. I feel like it's getting very politicized, but in a biased way that I think I could be wrong. I was just like giving myself a story of what happened when the whole, I don't know if you saw it on social media, when one of the guys that works at the Ballon D'Or is like, oh yeah, Ronaldo's like all about trying to get catch to Messi, or at least have more than him.
Yeah. And
I think as I saw this all unfold, the ceremony and everything, I was like, I'm pretty sure they asked him to come, and obviously Ronaldo's going to say no, and he did. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that guy was like, well, fuck that, I'm going to say this on social media, because it was literally a week before I was going to fall into this, and then Ronaldo comes back and says, what is this guy talking about? No, like, but I know the Ronaldo type, he's not going to be there to just be there. Yeah. So that's how the things I look into. It's like, man, I think they really took it like personally, the people that do this. Yeah. In the sense of like, hey, we're just going to give it to Messi. We really like him. Yeah. And now he's coming to PSG, and we're in France. That's where we do this. So it's one of those things, like you said, like maybe they just all decide, as long as he wins this, we're going to give it to him. Yeah. Don't give a shit what he does in the season. You know, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah, because I mean, they do vote. It shows like how many votes, but it's like, I mean, anybody can easily be like, okay, everybody voted, but really we want to just give it to him regardless.
Yeah, but again, certain people's votes are more heavier than others. Like, all that, but like, again, the way I'm seeing it, even Messi was saying it in his speech, he's like, yeah, Lewandowski should have got the last one, that they didn't do anything. Yeah. But I the way I see it, this is an asterisk, because for the first time ever, other players have spoken out over Messi, saying like, Messi's great, but Lewandowski deserves it. Oh, yeah. A lot of players, because in the past, everyone's like, all right, Ronaldo or Messi. Yeah, we either one. They fucking do it. Yeah. Again, everyone was surprised with Modric. He just was being nice because this guy came out of nowhere and like, oh, let's just give it to him. And then everyone was like, all right, we can be nice to this guy. Like, he's in Madrid. He kind of like did something. Again, it all had to do with the World Cup. Yeah. So if he didn't have the World Cup, Ronaldo should have got that. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Which is weird. So it's like, I think these types heavily favor it. You know what I mean? But I was sensing it as I was getting closer. I was like, if they gave one to Ronaldo when he won Champions and he won the Euros in 2016 with Portugal, they're gonna. How do they? I was also thinking like, how do they not just give it to Messi for doing that? Yeah. Again, even though it was underwhelming for me, a lot of people are gonna hate. A lot of people are gonna give me stats and da da da. But again, like, I don't think anyone has came close to these two other than Lewandowski. Yeah. And I think he was able to do a season again after not winning the one that he was supposed to win. Yeah. To get, this could have been his second one. Yeah. If you really think about it, if everything goes the way it's supposed to go. Yeah. Because I was like, I didn't want to lose this thought, because it's stupid how they didn't give it to him that year because of COVID, but they gave Ronaldo his Ballon d'Or by himself without a ceremony. Oh, yeah. Remember that with Madrid, and one time when he was in Paris, they just threw him up there and said, hey, we're going to, what the fuck? Why you couldn't just do that to him, to Lewandowski? Like, you guys could have just went to his house and be like, here. That's what's fucked up. That's what I'm saying. Like, these type of things is like, I'm looking into, like, just reading it and just like seeing it. It's like, you guys are really favoring certain players. Yeah. In some way. Like, this is a ceremony. Remember, there was no ceremony after a while? Because they were switching over who was doing this. Yeah. There was the last ceremony when Ronaldo just yelled out "Sue." Yeah. And then after he won that again, it was just like, oh, we're gonna go to Madrid and give it to you. Oh yeah. And they gave it to him. Yeah. And then again, the other random ceremony was with Modric. Yeah. It was new. And then they're like, oh, okay, we're gonna give it to Ronaldo again, so we're just gonna give it to him in France. Yeah. So it's like, all right, we kind of know these fuckers are gonna win, but if it's, so they try to push this some way. Like, all the pundits that I know and I listen to, it's like at some point, it's losing its credibility the way they're giving this out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because again, I really, really do not feel that Messi has a seventh Ballon d'Or. I just feel that he got a 7th Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Because the other times there were, again, we saw like, oh, who's gonna get it? Like that felt because we saw all that. And, and all, of course, all the Messi fans are gonna be like, oh yeah, no, he deserves it, and this and that, which by all means, that's how the fans are.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking on into it, that and all the players on the outside after like tweeting and saying like, Lewandowski, he was a goat, he should get. Even Alphonso Davies was like, yeah, he's my idol, but I think Lewandowski should,
Yeah.
like to see those things.
Oh yeah,
makes me really feel that this one has to have an asterisk. And just be like, you know what, you got it because of Argentina. Great, we'll give you. It's like saying your trophy wasn't enough, dude. We'll give you this.
Yeah,
And I feel bad for the game. I feel bad for the player. I actually feel bad for Lewandowski. I don't know if you saw on his Instagram too. He's like, I felt sad, but I'm a respectable player and colleague, and if he gets it, he's gonna be respectable. But yes, I had my high hopes. So it just, I don't know. It doesn't feel like an actual award-winning this one.
Yeah, because I agree, because it's like usually that's what I said when I said they normally do this in January. It's like you kind of go through the whole year where it's like, okay, they finished off the season wherever they finished off, winning Champions League or whatever, and then the rest of that beginning part of the year they continue on and still play. So the only reason why I feel that with this one, because it's like, yeah, he went to PSG, but then it's like, well, he hasn't really shown or done anything there. Right. So it's like you really gave this guy the Ballon d'Or off of that one game, and that was kind of it. And I mean, nothing against like Lewandowski. It just sucks that he doesn't have anything on top of that, because as the season ended and they did whatever he did with Brian at the end of the season of the year, and then starting the year this year, and then kind of continuing that consistency and rhythm and everything that he's been able to do. It's like, to me, if you do this in January, it's like, yeah, this guy's got a high chance of winning this. Like, compared to doing what he did the entire year compared to Messi, it's like Messi played half a year and then Lewandowski played the whole year. So it's like you just took away whatever this guy did a whole year just because this guy won that one tournament, which is I don't think it's fair, because it's like, I get it, he wins whatever he wins with Bayern Munich because they win that every single year. But the fact that he did that at the end of his season this year, and then to start the season and continue that form off of that, then yeah, it's like, okay, that's where I see, all right, yeah, this guy was the best player this year. Like, that's how you see it as. And with Messi, it's like, okay, he won with Argentina, and then after that, it's like, what just happened? Where did he go? Why hasn't he done anything? Because usually he would continue on in that beginning of the season with Barca, whoever, and score goals and do this and do that, and then Champions League would do something great. But he went to PSG and he's just coasting. He just coasted, and it's like, okay, let's give it to him because he just did everything with Argentina, and it's like,
well, that's as I had some of these clips that I were watching. Like, I could just feel this is like weird, because I even gave a best striker award that they never fucking done to make it seem. So it's like, we feel bad here, just take this. Yeah. And at the same time, they fucking have Suarez handing the fucking Ballon d'Or to Messi. So it's like they know this is like pushed to, in some way, to be like, we just want to hit this guy to keep being the, like, I think in some way they're like, okay, we can end this fucking Ronaldo and Messi talk. Let's just give him more. Let's give him the 7th one, because he literally stretched it out now. I mean, it's somewhat impossible unless Ronaldo has a miraculous year this year with a World Cup coming. Yeah. Like, that's, for me, if he does something miraculous, like that, to me, would be more deserving than this. Yeah. The 6th will look better than the 7th to me. Yeah. If he does it like that. But I'm just saying, if that happens, but that's a fucking miracle at his age.
That's still, like, as much as I love Messi and everything, like I said, just because of the year, in terms of the year, I mean, he played half a year. Yeah. To me, he played half a year. Mm-hmm. And to give him like that, I mean, people are like, yeah, he was deserving of it because he won't earn anything, but it's like, I was like, but you got to go back on all the years that are, like, what he's done, what Ronaldo's done, what a lot of players have done in the past years and everything like that. And it's like, just to give him this just because of that, it's like, all right, I get it. And then it's like, then Lewandowski should have gotten his, because if we really look at it, they played the whole year, but they skipped it in the sense, in terms of certain months, and then went back. But they still finished off the year. They still were able to go and play their games and still continue on. And then when they got into their fall season, it didn't really set them back in the sense of like, well, they stopped, they Champions League ended and then the fall season started with like weeks later. And they just kept going. And it's like, wait a minute. Did we really lose out on any games all year? Because they stopped, whatever, a month, 2 months. I think it was maybe 2 months at most.
I think so.
And in reality, they don't play for 2 months in a year. So it's like, what did we really like take away? Like, why did he not even get it? Like, I really want to know the reasoning behind why Lewandowski didn't get it 2020.
It says it right here, and it's stupid. This guy's talking about it.
Because like,
I kind of read the subtitles.
Versus. Why?
He says it, I think.
Because it turns out, after thinking about it, all the conditions are not met. What conditions?
Which was all COVID stuff, which is still dumb to me.
What conditions, though?
I'm saying I think it's because it happened to COVID, right? It was happening.
Yeah, because of COVID.
So that's probably the conditions you're talking about. But at the same time, like we said, even off the podcast, is like, if people are going to the supermarket every day, how the fuck can we not get a Ballon d'Or given to Lewandowski?
I don't get the conditions though. Like what conditions? And like I said,
I think that and the way the pause of the 2 months that we just said, of the condition of pausing a whole couple of months and then readjusting to starting over, that could be it. I mean, we're gonna have to look it up.
Something drastic had to change in certain. I mean, some teams benefited off of it, yeah, but it's like how do I put this? I'll just go off Lewandowski for this part. Is that did that pause or whatever really change the dynamic of how he was playing throughout the year? If anything, it could have hurt him because he was on a stride and a run before that. And then it stopped, and then he kept going. And he continued off of that still. Where others, it's like, where you saw some teams, like, I'll give you an example. Man United, before the COVID, they were playing terrible. They weren't playing well. COVID happened. They came back, and they went on a win streak. They started winning. They started playing well. So, like, I'll say that was, I guess in that terms, you can be like, they benefited off of taking that break and then coming back and playing and then doing well. And others, they kind of regressed where it's like, well, they took the break. They were on a stride and then they came back and they just kind of hit bottom because, the players just didn't come back well enough. And, the team, this kind of hurt their year, whatever. But it's like, we're looking at an individual player here. It's like he continued that stride. Was there really anybody else around him to really be on that with him? I mean, other than Messi and Ronaldo during that time, because Ronaldo was with Juve, Messi was with Barca at that time, and even then that team was a disaster. But Lewandowski still kept his form even on top of that whole break and that whole thing that happened, and to continue it and just be like, under certain conditions, well, what certain conditions? Like who really benefited off of that and who really didn't? Because it's like, it didn't seem in the sense like he benefited it, like, because, like I said, if it was like, I guess the best way to compare this to would be like basketball when they do the All-Star, when they call the All-Star break. There's teams that go into the All-Star break and they're having a terrible season, and then they get off, they go to the All-Star break, they take like a week off, and then when they come back, they're like on a 10-game win streak because they needed that break. But it's like, did that really happen here? Like, did we see a massive turnaround from Lewandowski from that COVID break? No, because he was already on the stride to go there and to do that, and everybody already saw it. And then when they went and gone and won the whole thing, it's like they didn't win it in the sense of like, wow, they just blew out the competition. They almost lost to PSG in the final, and PSG gave them a good run for their money through that final. So you can't sit there and be like, well, no, they blew. If they blew up PSG 5-0 in the final, then I can say they benefited off of COVID. Mm-hmm. But they didn't. If anything, Bayern Munich is the only team that benefits off of their season as opposed to Champions League from everyone else.
All right.
Because they have a shorter season and they take a longer break.
They do.
In the winter.
Yeah.
They stop for like 3 weeks, I think, because of the snow.
Yeah.
And there's times, they play in the snow, but there's a moment in time where they stop and they don't come back for a while. And they have less teams to play. and their season ends about like half a month or a month earlier than everybody else. So if they were to go far in Champions League, which they've gone far, they get like a month between from the last game and the Champions League final to rest and prepare for the final. Where other teams have to play all the way till the last week of before Champions League.
Yeah.
So it's like, where is it here? Like
again,
you know what I mean?
Like I'm still thinking about like the whole how it's because think about it. The tournament was supposed to be in 2020. The Argentina one that they won,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, like again, it's just very odd. It's like, oh, okay, well, he had it. So again, this does not feel right for me.
No, it doesn't feel right. But you know what? I feel like this is what's eventually going to happen is when he retires and it goes all whatever in the years down, they're going to do what they did like with Pelé and Maradona. They're going to be like, oh, here's for 2020 that year that you had. Here's your recognition for winning. You should have had it because they did it to Pelé and Maradona like years. Remember a couple years back? Yeah. And I think even Maradona's like, no, I don't want to share it with him.
Yeah, he said that.
He goes, this isn't mine. It's like, no, you either give me one or don't give me one at all. Yeah. and they did that for them. I remember they did because they never had a Ballon D'Or, and they're obviously two of the best players in the world. It's like they ended up giving them that recognition. Like, here's your Ballon D'Or for the years that you played. And it's like, no, I want my own, man. So I feel like eventually, once he's like way down retired, I feel like they're gonna do that to him, and I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. When he's done retired and it's like, I don't know, in the like 60s.
Knocking your door, like, fuck out of here.
Dick. I feel like that's what's going to happen. That sucks. It like I said, I think, I mean, I don't want to say because of, COVID, because it really wasn't. It's like, he gets it last year, and I don't doubt that he gets it this year.
Yeah, no, he's supposed to have two. I think he was supposed to have two.
I think he gets two. And then who knows how next year goes? He could have probably gotten three.
Yeah,
if he goes, I mean, because again, he's playing well.
He's playing well. He's playing well. Brian Ming's still legit.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It's like if there was a drastic change with all that,
it's stupid because I don't think he would get third. You know why? Because Poland's not going to the World Cup into the third.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, the quote if he could get through.
That's true.
Because the World Cup is in December November, December. So I don't even know how that would work for the Ballon d'Or. Was it after the World Cup? I think it's going to be literally right after the World Cup. Now, see that how I'm thinking about it now? Like all this shit, it might go back to January then. Because the World Cup is literally the last thing we're going to watch that next year. Yeah. Literally next fall. We have a year. Literally, I think it's done in this. I think it's going to be done in the 20th. I think I got to double check the dates. But
no, I saw it.
Right before Christmas.
I think one of the IGs posted, it said a year from now the final will be played. And it was either today or I think yesterday.
Okay, yeah. So it's right before Christmas. So that's why it's like
yeah. And so they're gonna go into January, or they're gonna give it in January.
So whoever the fuck does good between Ronaldo and Messi in that World Cup, okay, look here.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If Ronaldo has a miraculous Champions League this coming up and going into the World Cup, like if he does legit, like again that game against Italy, that might be set up for something for him again, like again the Sweden one.
Yeah.
But it all depends from now into that game in March, which is not too far.
Yeah.
3 months. How many goals and games is he going to win? And how, you know what I mean? So that for him, it looks like it's set up to do that. An actual fucking test to be like, all right, let me get my real 6.
Yeah.
And if all goes well, the World Cup, Yeah. It has to be a miraculous turnaround for Ronaldo this coming up. So if he wants to, but. It is what it is, man. Ballon d'Ors.
Oh, it's my Formula 1 guys. I didn't even see that.
Oh, because you didn't see the submarine. Yeah, I told you. You didn't see the submarine.
Alonso and Ocon. Cool.
Who's the one for where?
They're a race for Alpine. Or Alpine.
Where are they from?
The one on the left is from Spain, and I think
France. Yeah, because
the one on the right is France.
Yes. Yeah. Drogoba has the 2 jerseys right there.
He's Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's cool. I don't know they came out.
Yeah, they came out and put the 2 Ballon d'Ors there.
See? Cool. Cool. Hey, man. Formula 1.
Yeah, even that real quick. This is the same shit. See? Asterisk, man.
I feel like, okay, I know this is way off topic. The only reason why I feel like they did that, to be honest with you.
Talks about Formula 1.
No, the only reason why I think they did that, to be honest with you, I mean, everyone's kind of going into the whole race thing, but I doubt. I don't want to say it is that, but I really feel like they have something here in their hands that is gonna just generate a massive viewing, because, I mean, in every sport you need what, like 2 rivalries, man. Like you need that. You like soccer had Messi and Ronaldo. That, I mean, for me, I believe that blew up the scene of soccer in the last 10 years because of those 2.
Yeah.
I mean, there was players before like we can compare and say like they were great, but the rivalry these 2 had is like uncomparable to what others had. Like as much as we want to compare, we can say Pelé and Maradona were in some sense rivals, but like they never really played in each other's era, you could say. Whereas like you literally have Messi and Ronaldo against each other for like 15 years. So like the whole Formula One thing, it's Hamilton and Verstappen now. I know you don't know who they are. Sorry, sorry, but that's what those guys are now. Like I think Hamilton is the Messi, and then the Dutch guy is the Ronaldo. It's insane because it's like,
what about John Gerard?
That was Ricky Bobby and John Gerard. There you go. It made it entertaining. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I get
what you're saying.
Yeah, that's why I think all that happened, because it's like,
oh no, that's the show that we watch is gonna be dope.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait for that season.
Yeah,
I know that was way off topic, but
sorry,
I got really into Formula One now.
Mikey's really into Formula.
I really got into it, like super got into it.
Mikey likes watching cars drive. You should see him when he steps outside. It's a fucking car just drove by, right? That's how he watches.
Did you see that turn? Did you see that turn? Did you see how that car turned?
Yeah. You gotta go get to the gas station, man. That's the pit.
Oh my god. Oh man. Oh wow. Yeah. But yeah, that's how that's going on. Because I mean, like I said, even with this, it's like Messi and Ronaldo are gonna end. It's like everyone's like, okay, who are the next 2?
Yeah.
That was the thing, and before it was like Neymar was supposed to jump in that mix, but like he really hasn't, and now it's they're leaning that towards Mbappe and Haaland,
which they tried to, but
they're trying to.
Haaland is just, his teams are not making it where they need to go. 1, the World Cup at all. 2, fucking he's in the Europa League now, so it's
not helping that he's still in that same team, and he should have. And now his year's about to end. Teams want him. He doesn't mind leaving, but he also doesn't mind staying.
Well, let's just get into it. It's not even all about them too, but here's my thing about Borussia. I think they need to figure out that they have a team to compete with finally and actually beat Bayern Munich. Yeah. If they use their financials properly now. Like they sell all their best players when they groom them and they grow up there, right? And it's gonna it's hard. It's just they need to figure out how to keep those players, if not get better players with them, because it is kind of ridiculous. It's not in a like annoying. I don't know if it's annoying, but hold on. To see, like, I always talk about like, oh, if you can do it 10 times in a row, 8 times in a row, like 7 times in a row, whatever, like, but meaningful. Yeah. Okay, that's like an achievement. Like, but if it's just so easy, it's like, do we care to watch this league? Because we already know who's gonna win, and it's getting there again. It's not even halfway, or it's almost halfway done, right? Yeah. And it's Bayern Munich off of like 18 points or something like that. I don't know, but like they're already racing away from the top.
You check. Go on.
But no, that was just what I mean. I mean, that's what I'm gonna say for Haaland. If they can buy players surrounding him, Borussia Dortmund can be another elite team for a while if he wants to stay there. That's if he wants to stay there. But if he wants to leave, then obviously he needs to go to a legit
I feel
game.
like, because I'm looking at it right now, and they're up by like 12 points.
12, okay.
And they're even in games. I feel that it's like for Dortmund and the teams, everybody below that, for them, it's like if we make Champions League, great. That's all we really need. Because our league is like, I feel like their league, like they'll compete in their league, whatever, but it's like, look at it. They're 12 points behind first place. Yeah. It's like they're ahead from the next third. They're ahead from the looks of it, 7 points from third place. So in their mindset, it's kind of like, well, do we really need to fight for our league half the time? Because it's like, I mean, look at the players that we even go in with, and we still can maintain second place and still go to Champions League every year. So I think in their aspect with Dortmund, it's more of like, because at the end of the day, like they develop players and they get good players, but it's like the money for them is like ridiculous, I'm sure, because the players that they've sent out, they don't send out like $2 million players. They send out like $30 million, $40 million, $50
Yeah, but then they
million,
become
million.
those players, right?
You know, yeah, and they eventually become those players, but it's like they sell those players now for that amount, and then they just invest in whatever the facilities, the clubs, or whatever, and then they just keep building and growing more kids and bringing them in, and then they just keep, filtering them out. So for them, it's just like it's a cash grab, I guess you could say, for them to be like, okay, one goes, here comes another. One goes, here comes another. One goes, here comes another. One goes, here. So like Sancho just left, and this Bellingham kid is coming up now.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll leave.
He's probably
They're
going to
leave. They all do.
Reyna's another one. Pulisic was one.
Yeah,
Götze, Royce, like Lewandowski. There's been so many players that have come out through Dortmund. It's like if we really like look, Klopp was there, and he's the only one that I think before whatever how many years took him to Champions League and took him to the final.
Yeah,
and it's like he was more than capable of doing it with the team that he had. And then, he left obviously to bigger and better things for whatever he wanted to do. But let's just think about if he actually stayed and kept Lewandowski and kept all these other guys and actually built a team there. I don't doubt that Dortmund would have been dominant for like maybe the next 5 years if he stood there. In the terms of when he left. Like I would think it would be Dortmund being that team instead of Liverpool. How Liverpool is right now, But I get it. They, the money come. They want that club. I don't want to say they're about money, but it's like it's just hard for them to resist it when it's like everybody wants what they have because they just have a system that's working really well for them, and it's like, well, why are we gonna just? I mean, we picked up this kid from the academy, whatever, and built him for no cost, and a team wants him for $40 million. Really gonna be like saying, no, we don't want to take you $40 million. Of course they're gonna take it. I mean, freaking, like I said, Pulisic came out of there and I think they got him for $60 million,
something like that. And
it's like an American out of all players. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, here, please take him. What else? What more do you want? So I think it's with them. That's kind of generally what it is, at least in that aspect. Because if they were really struggling in the sense of like, they're never getting into Champions League, then yeah, they would consider keeping those guys. They would try to probably consider keeping those guys to build that and become those teams. And then they would say, okay, yeah, we could keep this, we could do that. But I think because they're obviously consistently going in with the players that they get and what they have, it's like, do we really need to be those type of teams in the sense? Do we really need to push? I mean, I'm sure they want to, but it's like, it's not in the sense it's so bad for them that they have to keep their guys because they're capable of doing it with the guys that they have and what they get. And Ajax is another one. Ajax does that too.
Yeah.
Ajax does the same thing.
But Ajax, I think Ajax can actually go farther when they're in Champions League.
They can, but you know what the thing is too is crazy is that they're the kind of team that like they'll go far and then they disappear for a couple years and then they come back.
Yeah,
but
they can do that. It's
yeah,
like Borussia hasn't been able to do that since.
I don't think put it this way. Borussia has been very consistent in being in a certain line in a certain area throughout the last, like we could just say, like 10 years.
Yeah,
since the last time they were in Champions League, we'll put it that way. Ajax has been one where it's like, whoa, they went really far. They hit a peak and then they just drop drastically and they're in the Europa League for like the next 2 years. And then they just pick up again and they kind of stay level and then they drop or they pick up. So right now, like these last couple of years, they've kind of been in that bubble range. But like I think right now this last year they've been doing really well to the point where now they want the coach. Man United was looking at the coach. They wanted the Ajax coach.
Yeah, that's right.
So now everyone's kind of looking into that guy and it's like, hey, we want that guy and this and that. So those clubs are going to be like that. The smaller clubs are going to be like that because the only other reason why I believe that they get rid of these guys because at the end of the day, it's like these players become so high valued that these clubs, like, they just don't have the money to maintain them and keep them. So they tend to let them go and say, well, you know what? We can't pay him this much, but if we sell him, we're going to be able to invest now in maybe these 5 kids. And these 5 kids are going to now become these players and we can get them into that range, and we'll get more players. Because, I mean, as much as they could have, I think Haaland's the closest one that they might end up, they could keep. And I'm surprised they kept, because I think he should have left last year. I mean, he's still doing good. Don't get me wrong, he's still doing good. But I think he still should have left last year. And they're saying that this year is the year he's going to leave. But he's even still saying, "Oh, I could still be at Dortmund. I could stay here." He doesn't really consider a move away from like everyone else has. Everyone else has been like, "Yeah, you know what? I think it's time for change. You know, I think I got to look for a new challenge, stuff like that." He's been more on the fence. It's like, well, you know, I don't mind, you know, going there and playing there. But you know what? This is still an option. I would be okay with staying here, kind of deal. So we'll see what happens. I mean, he's in the Europa League now. Let's see what he does. And let's see how he likes it being in the Europa League. And if he doesn't win, then maybe he might be like, okay, yeah, maybe it's time to go look somewhere.
I don't think they will.
No, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think that's what will probably be the ticket for him to be like, yeah, okay, let's look somewhere else.
He has to leave, and I think he's gonna leave. There's no reason.
If he leaves, he's going to PSG.
I think he'll go to the Premier League.
He's going to PSG. Nobody else is going to afford him,
That's even worse.
And it is worse. But the only thing is, it's the value that they can afford him, and if Mbappe leaves and they get him for the amount that they need, they're going to go after Haaland.
Wait, say that one more time.
If Mbappe leaves, then they sell him for whatever the amount that they could get him for, because I believe Mbappe is going to be a high value target.
Mbappe's leaving for free after actually next month.
Oh.
Yeah, his contract's up, so he can just leave.
Well, if they somehow strike a deal before the end of the month,
doubtful.
Yeah, not with Mbappe, but whoever they're trying to sell him to. If that ever happens, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. Then then obviously, still PSG I think would be that kind of club that's like, oh, we want to go get Haaland.
Well, they were saying that, or Lewandowski also. But again, either one,
or that if Lewandowski leaves Munich, I feel like Haaland will go to Munich.
That's what a lot of people are saying too.
I feel like that's where he would go.
Which doesn't even it just doesn't make sense. It's just like too easy to go that way.
Yeah,
it's just too easy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who knows? We'll see though. I mean, I think in the Premier League he'd be good in. It would be a good challenge for him to go into, but I just don't know what team. I think the only team I guess you could say that would really be able to get him is if City gets him, that'd be okay. But I mean, I think the one that would I guess you could say connect really well with would be Dortmund. I mean, not Dortmund, Liverpool, because of Klopp. Klopp knows that style. Klopp plays that style.
Then that means who would have to go?
Oh yeah, well that's what I'm saying. If one of those, Firmino. I mean, I like Firmino, but I
have Jota, you still have Mane and Salah.
Jota, I'm pretty sure I would drop Jota over Haaland. Mane, I mean, Salah, you're not going to drop after the year he's having. Salah after the year he's having there's no way. But I would just say in terms of to go to a new league and be able to push and develop and to continue that stride, you're either going to City or you're going to Liverpool. I'd be surprised if United took him because of the new coach that's there now, and he's German, and he could probably persuade this kid. That'd be a shock to me if United somehow got him. But I don't think that's what I don't know. In terms of just Premier League teams,
that's possible because even by next year, obviously it's going to be Ronaldo last year.
Yeah. So
we'll see how things go with the current backups because they're already saying Martial should leave. He's obviously not playing.
Yeah.
They're saying that Cavani, you got to go. You're not going to play the rest of the season. Like they're not going to play. Like I feel bad for them, but at the same time, it's like you got to know you're not going to play.
Yeah.
You can tell us all the injuries you guys are having, but you're not going to play.
Yeah.
You know, and I think as I'm going on with this, I just think Martial needs a new fit, like just a new team. Like it just never.
Barca needs players.
Fuck yeah, they do. You guys are going. But who the fuck wants to go to Europa?
That was the other. That was the other talk. The two was Haaland. That Barca was trying to get Haaland also. So yeah, I don't know who's ever going to land.
But even just let's move on to that. Even Barca, it's not as worth. I would go over Dortmund over. I go to Dortmund over Barca right now.
Oh, right now, yeah. But the thing is, you're talking about a guy who just came in and overnight has already changed the dynamic there.
No,
over time, yes, it's gonna grow, but it's like you gotta you gotta attract players like a Haaland. If you get him, you're gonna get more players that are gonna want to come in.
Money first before.
Oh no, yeah. No, I know that, but I think now with everything that's kind of happening there, I think the money's just going to slowly increase and come in, and all these things are going to happen. And I don't doubt that that it's going to go the way people are anticipating it to go for Barca, at least in the next couple of years. I don't think it's going to be in a year. Probably in the next couple of years it'll get there. But it's just you got to grab players like Haaland, or like you already got two talented players already at Barca alone in terms of the youth. Now to bring in another guy, it's like now you kind of got to gradually build that again in the sense of what you have. And right. I think that's something that will happen over time. Now it might not be Haaland, but again, it's again a player that you're gonna need that can attract that attention, especially for that club. So,
yeah, we'll see what happens. I think he'll end up leaving.
Oh yeah, I would think he would. I don't see why not. But then again, it's like, does City ever really need a forward?
Yeah, really. At this point, they don't even need a forward, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Fucking win every game.
Yeah. I mean, do they really need it?
I think they need it.
Guardiola is a god at what he does, man.
I think they need it.
God. He does not get enough credit, man.
No, I give him the credit. Again, it's one of those things. It's literally what happens when you were making fun of the Formula One. It's like, last one wins. You did all this shit, and you see you can do it at the end, right?
Yeah.
That's how I think City is.
Yeah.
They're going to dominate, but I think they still do need that 9 to see the actual end of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, but if he can make it happen, he's gone that far, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. What else happened?
The draw. Was that a draw? What the fuck was that?
The drawing?
What was that?
The Champions League?
What was it?
A setup?
The fucking canicas?
It was a setup?
The fuck was all that about?
I guess what happened, what I was reading was that the bowls that they had, they said that one of the bowls had two teams that already matched up against each other and they weren't supposed to. And then there was a bowl that, like, two teams were not matched up at all, and they were supposed to be matched up.
Somebody had one job.
Yeah, somebody had one job to do, and they fucked up because... So, from my understanding was, like, all the first place teams, whatever, were in a bowl. But, like, one of the bowls, apparently, that team was not matched up with any of those at all. And it's like, huh? It didn't make any sense. Like, I don't know why they have like 6 bowls there. It's like, you just need 2. Get all the first place and second place in one bowl. Pick out all the first place ones, okay? Boom. Now start picking all the second place ones. How the hell? How difficult was that? We just saw the video, right? It was just there. I saw like 6 bowls. I'm like, and there's 2 in a bowl. I'm like, why do you need that big ass bowl for measly little soccer balls? I didn't get it.
And they were saying it's the software that did that.
I fucking don't know. But I the only reason why I don't, but even then it's like, they don't want, I guess, the same matchups for some of the teams that they were in the league or the second place. So I just use like United and who else was in their group? Who's the other team that went through with them?
Villarreal.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, those two. So apparently those two were matched up still when they're not supposed to be, because then they would have been matched up to play in the playoff, whatever. So that was what the thing was. So I get that part. It's like, okay, everybody had their bowl, whatever. But it was like, you're chancing something that's not supposed to happen at all. That's why they redid it, supposedly. It was something along those lines.
It's dumb.
Yeah, no, it was dumb. It was dumb. I didn't like how they did it. But it was like, all right, okay. And then they did it again. I'm like, all right, okay.
Yeah, but who we
let's see. So you have Bayern Munich and Salzburg.
Bayern, obviously.
Oh yeah, Salzburg is a disaster. They fired that coach, the USA coach, the USA guy.
Oh shit, no way.
Because he was doing terrible. It sucks because he did good with the team below that, and he got promoted because the coach there went to Munich. It's funny because now he's playing that team. So, yeah, go Munich on that one. City and Sporting.
Sporting might just do it.
No.
City.
I didn't even know Sporting was in the damn Champions League.
You know what's funny? Sporting and I think is it Benfica?
Yeah.
Are they in it still?
Benfica's still in it, yeah.
And they're not even in first place in their league, and they're like down by like 8 points from the first.
That's funny. That's funny.
Porto is in first in the league, and they're not in it.
They're not in it.
That's crazy.
That's funny. Yeah. The other one is Benfica and Ajax.
Ajax
For sure.
That guy.
Chelsea and Lille.
I don't know. Chelsea's fucking up.
Yeah, Chelsea
has injuries. He's fucking up. He's not even playing Lukaku anymore.
Yeah, they've been kind of falling down a little. He's been hurt. Oh no, Lukaku had COVID.
Well, he came back. He even played in like the end of the game.
He had COVID, and I think he got injured. I can't remember, but I just remember he had COVID.
Yeah.
And that one. So I don't know. Yeah, that one's
that could be a surprise for Lille.
That could be a surprise
because they're doing good. But that could be a surprise.
Then you got United and Atletico.
My boy, as always.
I mean.
No, wait. We got Ronaldo with United against
Atletico. Yeah.
Okay. Ronaldo and United.
Fucking guy.
So you gotta say it.
No, shut up.
Yeah.
United and Atletico.
Ronaldo and United.
But chances of the United winning, I would actually take because apparently Ronaldo destroys Atletico every goddamn time.
Yeah. And Atletico is also falling apart.
Yeah.
They're fucking falling in the lead.
The next one is Villarreal and Juve.
Juve.
I would go Villarreal.
Go ahead, but Juve is actually having a decent. They took the group.
But it's Villarreal.
They took the group over Chelsea.
Juve is not that good. I don't know.
All right, I'm just taking. I'm taking.
I'll go Villarreal on that one.
Okay.
The other one is Inter and Liverpool. I did not even see that coming from Inter because they had a disaster of a season last year. And I don't even know how they're doing in their league this year. They're in first somehow.
It's close though. It's a good race up there.
Which I'm surprised about because they lost everybody. And I'm surprised they're doing well. But then again, it's Inzaghi, so who knows? He's a good coach.
But yeah, Liverpool's.
I'm surprised with Inter. Inter's a surprise. So actually, you know what? Looking at it, I think I might go. Oh no, but Liverpool's on fucking fire.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's just at Liverpool.
That'll be a good. I think that would be a good one. But Liverpool's good. But I think that'll be a good one. I think that.
But again, it's not until like the end of February, right?
Beginning, mid. Yeah, February 16th, February 15th, so mid February. And then the other one is PSG and Real Madrid. I think those two games are going to be the best games out of all of them in terms of like performancing and competition and just the game. Let me
backtrack. I think the Ronaldo United versus Atletico is gonna be. It's gonna be because
that'll be good.
Because again, United, we don't know how United's gonna come in. Even though I think they're the favorites, but I think it'll be interesting. I would think it's gonna be an interesting game.
Yeah.
But what was the last two you said?
PSG and Madrid. Madrid is reminding me like the Patriots of NFL.
Yeah, because they just tied against somebody in their league. It's not even good on Sunday.
What I mean by that is no one's talking about them, but they're actually playing well.
They're like quietly winning.
That's what I'm saying.
And like first.
That's what I'm saying. They remind me of the Patriots of the NFL when Tom Brady, like when he was there was that year. It's like, they've been winning this whole time? Like, holy crap, they're good? Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. What just happened? That's what it's reminding me of.
It's going to be weird because I'm just thinking of what. First, I'm thinking if Mbappe signs, he's literally going to play against his new team in January because he can sign and just wait and play, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, well, Messi hasn't done that much of amazing, but it looks like he's doing decent in the Champions League, right?
He might turn it on against Madrid because he
That's
goes against
playing Madrid, but he never, not really. He hasn't scored in the last couple of Clásicos. But anyways, with that being said, I don't know if Neymar comes back in time, right?
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
And
just checking the time.
It's just the way Madrid's playing. It's just more like it's just quietly. I think they're gonna win quietly. I think they're gonna win. And actually, no, it's Champions League. They're gonna win. I'm gonna take Madrid
over PSG.
over PSG because I think Madrid and Ancelotti is going to figure out how
Oh yeah. I think
ignorant this PSG team is on defending.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I
I would actually be surprised if they go on. And this is the first year no away goals count.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's 2 games and then it's the goals. And if you
I didn't know that.
I don't know how it's going to work.
When did that happen?
Remember they were mentioning it last year? They were like,
I
they took
didn't
that
know
away.
that.
So there's the away zone,
man.
which is going to be a different game.
That changes everything.
Not really.
Yes, because now United can't win off of that if they lose the first game, whatever, at home or however. And because as far as I know, with Ronaldo, that's how he won against Atletico every single time, was the away goals, because he would put the damn goals in. So now it's like, that changes everything, man.
If you could look, I gotta see what the rule is now. Like
I'm trying to look at it.
If they don't count, then what does it mean? You just win the game? Like you gotta win the game?
I think it's gonna be kind of like how they do. Oh, I don't know.
That's why I need to know. I haven't looked into it, which we should, because I gotta see. Like, okay, well, what if we win the first game 2-0, right?
Yeah.
And then we tie the second game. Did we win the whole thing?
I have no idea. Let me check. Let me see if it has it. Away ruling.
I wonder if it's even on here. We can just check.
How does the away goal rule work? You announced on Thursday that the away goal will be abolished in Europe. So the rule, which is let me see. The rule which has been placed since the team that had scored more away goals, but from now on, this will be replaced by extra time and penalties.
Also, they added extra to their. So
I
when you
think,
tie, you go to extra time now.
Yeah.
And you have to go with both games?
No, I think it's just the second game, because the first game, it doesn't matter. First game you could score however many, but if you tie the second game in terms of however you tie the game, I think that just goes on.
So you could win again. You can win 3-0 the first game, and then
then
tie the second game 1-1 and go to penalties. That's what I needed.
You're right.
I need it. We need
I need
a firm confirmation of these rules.
We
We Googled our magic.
All right.
Google magic, my friend.
That was quite some time to figure this out, but
and we're back.
But basically, with the new away goal ruling, it's now just aggregate. It's no longer if you score 2 goals away and you win. Let's just say you win the game 2-1 away, and then you lose at home 1-0. Generally, you would go through because you had the 2 away goals and you didn't score anything at home, but the other team scored 1. Aggregate is 2-2. The rule change now says the aggregate is what allows the game to continue now because it's 2-2. So that's generally what the rule is. So that's the change now. So it's 2-2. Now you go into extra time and continue the game. And if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. So the first game doesn't change. First game is first game. It's the second game now, whatever the aggregate is. So how can I put this?
So if it's 3-2, the home team wins the first game.
Yeah.
And they go away.
And then they lose 1-0. The aggregate is 3-3.
And they go to
extra time and penalties. Yeah.
So the first game is not extra time or penalties.
No. First game is...
I think it's just extra time, right? Until
No. First game is just first game. No extra time, no penalties.
It was never extra time.
No,
it's I think I said off the camera. I think it's like similar to the Liga MX.
Yeah.
Right? Similar to that.
Similar
They're
to
just aggregate, but they also added, for them, they had the seed. The higher seed goes on. They tie in. So, yeah, I mean, in some ways, I don't know. Like, how do you, I'm, as you're talking about, I was thinking about, there have been so many amazing games because of that.
Yeah. So
like
as I was reading, what they kept bringing up was teams that had the advantage in that, and it just seemed like they didn't want that to happen because, I guess, in the women's side, it was happening too often. So apparently, I think I don't know if it was Barcelona or when they said PSG the year PSG won. Apparently, they won all their games off of away goals. That none of their games were won off of like just them winning. You know, they won all. So I guess they took that into consideration. In years past, there was a lot of games that's happened in the sense with a lot of other teams. I don't think it was that controversial or that like big of a difference, but it's like I still think the fact that you play, I can't remember. There's a point where you play, and then you kind of have a break after that second game or after that first game, and then you play again. So there's like kind of a long wait period between the first and second game sometimes, isn't there? So I still think that's somewhat an advantage because you basically don't play with the same team you started with in the first game than the second game. But they said like Porto, the year they won, that helped them. I think Bayern 1 year that they won, that helped them. And I think a couple of other teams that's done it. But it's like on the men's side, it doesn't happen. It happens, but it doesn't happen in the sense that I believe that it's like, well, this is how this team always wins, or this is how the only way they win. I mean, we lose out a lot of great games because of it, honestly. The Barcelona one. We don't get that 7-1 miraculously win. I mean, they didn't win it all, but we don't get that game.
That game's gone.
That game is gone if this were to be the case.
Yes,
we don't get Ronaldo's hat trick game against Atletico. I mean, I don't think there was a tie aggregate there, but it's like there's more to play for. I think at times when it's kind of like that. I mean, I get what they're saying. They're saying that there's the reason why they're taking this away is that the home team, the advantage team, because they don't have the home game first, they tend to sit back a little bit more in the first game because they say we have the advantage going home into the second game, which I understand. I get it. But it's like, how many teams really do that? How many teams really go? You're going to tell me that Munich's going to go in against Salzburg and be like, guys, we score so many goals. You know what? Let's sit back today. Let's sit back against Salzburg because we're going to play home the second game. No, they're going to go all out and go in that first game and probably go win 3-0. 3-0.
Yeah, you didn't think about the last year, the Juve versus Porto game.
Yeah.
Like, again, I don't know. I got to see how it goes because...
There's teams, yes, I get it that. There is some teams that may take advantage of that. But it's like, what I think with soccer, it's like, you can't leave that up for chance.
Yeah.
I don't think you leave that up for chance, even if you're an advantage type team where it's like we just said, Munich and Salzburg. You can't, especially in Champions League, you can't leave that up for chance because anything could freaking happen. I mean, we just said Porto and Juve. I think Juve went into that first game and we saw like, oh yeah, let's kind of sit because we got the home advantage in the second game. But Porto came in and said, nah, we're coming and knocking on your door and we're gonna get through. And sure enough, they did. And it was like, what just happened? Juve really lost to Porto?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And then I look back at the same one with all the Barca games that they had, the ones that they were winning and then lost. The Liverpool, Barca,
the Roma one, that was one. The Liverpool one was another, and the PSG one. PSG, they went into the first leg was at PSG. They lost 3-0. I think it was 3-0, maybe 3-1 or 4-1. It was one or the other. But it's again, they're the advantage team coming home for the second game. They lost, I think, 4-1. I mean, do you really think that like, we sat back because we knew the second game we were gonna put 7 goals in? like I mean, that was unheard of to really think that. Like, and then on top of that, in the middle of the game, Cavani scored and almost shattered their dreams. So there was probably more controversy in the sense of what the hell the ref was gonna call in that game than if they were really gonna put up 6 goals or 7 goals in that game.
So who benefits the most of it? Is the higher seeds, the home teams, or who like makes it feel like, all right, well, like who benefits off of it? There has to be I think
the benefit of it is gonna be the lower teams, because now it's like, well, we have to push at home in the first game, and we got to push again in the second game. But they were going to push regardless because they're the lower end seed.
So I guess, like we just said earlier, they're trying to take the dynamics out of sitting back. They want to play. They want both of them to play both games all the time.
It seems like it, but then again, it's like you can still play this in the sense of like in some sense we're still the advantage team because we still get home. I mean, you get regardless if you get home field advantage or not. When you have home field advantage and you have your fans behind you, it's a different game. It's a massive different game. Well, what game was it that I recently saw that made that massive impact?
The playoff game, like in the
Champions League
knockout, game?
Right? There was one game like you could just tell the fans were just roaring and getting these guys going.
The knockouts or just regular?
I think just regular. It was recently. There was one game like you could just tell.
Like this one right now, just
recently. Yeah, There was one game you could just tell the fans were just pushing and pushing the team to go, and you could just see it out of the energy and everything. And it's
United?
like might have been, but regardless, it's like when you have your home crowd with you, it's an advantage regardless if you're the higher seed or not. Because once you get that goal of especially being a lower seed team, the roof is gonna blow off and everyone's gonna go crazy. Especially if you're the underdog in the game, and everybody's just gonna be pushing that team to go more and more and more, and then the other team just kind of gets overwhelmed and they may lose that game. But then the second game, it's like, yeah, okay, now you got to take advantage of it. I don't know if the FC Sheriff and the Young Boys and the other teams. I think Young Boys had their fans against United. I don't remember FC Sheriff had fans for them, but teams like that, I could guarantee you, when their fans are in it, those teams are going to play better, especially at home. And I think we saw that with some of them because they won, and we're like, whoa, what, they won? And then the second half of the Champions League, they just lost all their games, and it's like, oh, okay, whatever. But I feel like those teams may benefit slightly, but I think it may not be fully, because now you're talking about, like, Bayern Munich, we'll give the example. They may have they got Salzburg. We'll use that as the example. Not a strong team right now. They're terrible. PSG going in that first game, regardless of this new rule change, they're going to put probably 2-3 goals on them. And I don't think they're the type of teams like, oh, let's sit back and let's just chill. They're going to go all out. So you just put a team that's going to win 3-0 first game, and in the second game, it's like, well, we're up 3-0. But they're still going to push, and they'll probably put them 5-0 now. You know, I still, again, I haven't seen it enough for this change to be like, wow, this team took a massive advantage of that, and they just sat and they did nothing, and they went in the second game, and all of a sudden it was a different team. You know, the only other times I guess I could have seen that was with Real Madrid. I think it was the second back to back, when they went back to back, when they won the second one. Sorry, they won 4 with Ronaldo, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't
Decima.
It wasn't the first one, because they won the first one, then they didn't go to the second one. It's when they started the back-to-back year.
With Zidane.
Yeah.
Zidane's first year.
There you go. Yeah. It was the second year, I think it was. They lost to Wolfsburg, and they lost to somebody else. But they lost, like, at Wolfsburg away, like,
3-0.
pretty badly. I think it was like 2-0.
3.
Was it 3? And then the second game they came and won 4-0.
4-0.
That's the only time I could really think, like, okay, they took advantage of the home thing. But it's like, you take a big risk doing that.
Yeah.
You take a massive risk because...
Oh, it happened with them again against Juventus.
Yes, that one too.
Right,
yes.
They lost at Juventus.
Yeah,
and they came back and just
Cristiano
again.
Yeah, yes.
Penalty at the end.
Yes, that one too. So, I mean, I get it, but I don't see it enough with all the teams. Like, if it was a lot of teams doing this and you would see it, then I'd be like, okay, like you could tell. But it's like,
I guess
I guess what they're trying to do as quite often as I would think that this be like, oh man, these teams are taking a massive advantage of this.
I kind of agree with you to a certain extent, but I think they're trying to eliminate, obviously the obvious. I'm gonna say it again, that part that you just spoke on, but to put it in play of like, you want all these first games in the round of 16 to all be competitive. We don't want you guys to sit back. Everything you just explained to you. Which
I
again,
get it.
I understand in some way. So it, like, if you're saying it's going to benefit the second seed teams, the ones that are the second place teams, maybe. I just think it gives, as I'm looking and thinking about it, I think it just gives the competitive more of a drive. All right, cool. Like, we have to win in aggregate. We have to score goals. Meaning they're pushing us to fucking score.
Yeah.
If you think about it, unless both teams are like, well, fuck it, let's just tie today. And then the next game we'll go.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too, because now you could look at it in that aspect.
Just go left to win game.
Yeah,
right?
Because you could look at it that aspect now, where it's like the first game goes 0-0. Okay, the second game,
there's no away goal.
There's no away goal, so it's like
just the game.
It's an all-out game, and if you tie, you go into extra time
and then penalty.
But in the sense, it's like, let's just say it's tied 0-0. It's like, well, did anything really change because it's 0-0 in both games?
Well, I mean, that's just
I get that part.
no. That's just a thing that will happen. That's inevitable. I think I'm talking about like
No, but I'm just saying. I guess I'm going
the
off
competitiveness.
Yeah, but I guess I'm going off in the sense of like I still feel like this is going to be taken advantage of in the sense of like for Munich. I have to go with Munich because they're that type of team that I'm not saying they'll take advantage of it, but I feel like they're the type of team that could just turn it on a flick of a switch and just say, we want to score fucking 4 goals today, you know. And today we feel like just sitting back and not scoring, you know. I feel like it's kind of that thing, and I feel like a team. I feel like a team will do that where it's like they're playing a weak team, Salzburg. Are they going to go in with their strong team first game and then say...
Maybe I think about it. If, let's say Salzburg wins that game 2-0. Let's just say.
I still think Munich is the type of team to just...
come back to the next game 8-0.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what I think some teams might still be capable of doing, at least in the early stages.
It's somewhat... It's
again, then later on, I don't know if that is possible, but you still can get... I mean, you could still get a game like the Barca PSG situation where they put 6-1 on them, you know, and they win because they got the one away goal off of aggregate. Because no, they won the game fully because it was 7 goals. They had 3. There was 4-1,
with
4-5.
The great comeback one.
Yeah, I think the score was 4-5.
I forget.
No, excuse me. It was 4-1 the first game. And then Barca put 6 in the second game, I want to say.
What year was that?
That was 2019, 18? I think 18. I think it was 2018. 17. Oh, it's close. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. 6-5 was the aggregate. See, but the aggregate was 6-5 either way. So they still won the game fully. There was no away goal advantage. It was still, they won the game on aggregate fully, 6-5. Now, if I saw it said 5-5, then yeah, it's different. But because PSG put that one goal, Barca had to at least score another to tie it and be able to go on.
Yeah, I don't know. I just gotta see it.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to really just make them all play and be like, hey, you guys gotta be active and fucking score.
I think that they're gonna do that, but you know what? I think it's gonna be only up until maybe the quarters, maybe even the semis. To be honest, which it already is entertaining in that aspect. I just think I think they're just trying to avoid. But see, this is where I go back again. I think they're trying to allow a chance for the lower end teams to go far. But it's like, when does it happen that they haven't?
Exactly.
You know, like the last couple of years, the lower end teams have surprised teams.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, we did. I mean, come on, Tottenham and Liverpool in the final. Who expected Tottenham to go far? And they got through on an aggregate. They got through on an away goal situation.
And the pandemic one when it was Lyon.
Lyon, Ajax, Salzburg. It was Lyon, Ajax, and Salzburg. I think they went through.
Right. It was like So it was like.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, I think away goals benefit even the lower end teams, because the year of Spurs wasn't supposed to go far. They were like terrible, and they got through because they got the aggregate against City, against their own league team. It's like, I mean, I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to really see it.
Yeah, no, I'm being optimistic. I'm trying to see how this turns out. I mean, they already fucking do it. It's not like they're gonna come back and be like, oh, okay, sorry, never mind.
Well, they might. I mean, they changed it.
No, not like in this moment.
Oh no,
they're gonna actually see this out
this year. Yeah, they're gonna see this out.
I don't think they're gonna change it right away, even if it goes the way they think.
I still don't think
it was 4-0.
Yeah.
What was the final score? 4-1. It was 4-1. The final.
I thought it was 4-1. I thought the final score was 4-1.
Yeah, I forget.
4-1. No, it was 4-0. No. It was 4-0. Yes. Because when Cavani put the one goal, yes, that's why they had to get 6-5.
I texted you like, it's done.
No, I remember that's why they had to be 6-5, because Cavani put the one goal away, and that was the away goal advantage. So Barca had to win the game regardless by 6 goals, because they were up 5-0 now. It was up 5-0 basically.
It was 4-0. I just showed it.
Yeah. And then the second game, yeah. But see, we don't get that.
You don't get this.
You don't get that.
Because we don't get it.
Yeah.
It was a 1-0. Wow.
Yeah, you don't get that with that game. It's crazy.
Fucking down 4-0, bro. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see these knockout stage games. Again, I'll be optimistic and see how it turns out. I mean, it just sounds it's just gonna make me the feel again if I'm watching the Liga MX, but with Champions League, but with no, like, you know what I mean? I just gotta see it because like it's not.
I still don't think it's gonna be a drastic change.
It doesn't. It's just we're gonna know now. There's not the weight of an away goal doesn't do much is what or gonna do anything anymore.
Because I mean, like I said, we haven't seen a drastic dynamic of it being like, whoa, they had a massive advantage with those away goals, man. Like, that's crazy. You know, it's like I don't see it really fully happening to the point where it's like, okay, that rule really made a difference. I still think we're gonna get games that's like that we're gonna anticipate. I just think they might be maybe more entertaining because now it's like, well, we got to go and attack and score, and now it's like it changes the kind of the game plan in the sense for some teams because it's like, I mean, if you're a team that kind of sits and defends mostly, it's like, well, shit, now we got to get the custom of going to attack and possibly get countered, and now we get fucked and we lose and whatever. But I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. I really.
I don't think it's gonna be drastic.
I don't think it's gonna be a massive
It's gonna be a
change.
different feeling. It's a new era they're trying to do. You just gotta see
because
watch.
even when I was reading the article about it, like they only mentioned maybe like 3 or 4 teams that had advantage of this, and it's like, wait a minute. If you're making this change because teams were taking advantage of it in the sense like they were, I don't want to say cheating, but like they purposely went into that first game. Let's defend because we know we're going to win the second one and we're going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, but it didn't seem like that from what I was reading. It's like only the one that they were really mentioning a lot was the Women's Champions League. That one team basically went all the way like that because of the away goals.
I see.
But it's like, okay, but that's that side. Like that game still's got to develop on that side. Let's be honest. Like they're really trying something over there and it's working. It's doing great. It's finally picking up, you know, the ground and whatnot. But it's like, they got a ways to go before to make a real change for the men's side because the men's side has been obviously going on the way it's been going on. And there hasn't been enough to be like, yeah, we got to change something. You know, like, oh, this has to change. Like the handball ruling has made a massive change. And that one, I think, is one of the things that like really determines the win and the loss for some teams. But with this one, it's like, I haven't seen enough for it to be like, yeah, we gotta take away this away goal change. Because the one like I said, the Liga MX, I don't like the high seed thing. Like if to me, I feel like that's an advantage.
Well, I told you why. Let me
I
say
get
this.
it. Yeah, no.
Let me just say it again. We watched the other leagues that don't have playoffs win their league because they win the league of points through points, right?
Yeah.
So I think in some way Liga MX has it. I think I like it because you think about it, it's like, well, if you think about it, we have a playoff. So what the fuck? Like, it's almost similar to like the aggregate or the away goal. Like, okay, we can just fucking mediocre this whole season and go in as an 8th seed and fucking win it all and save some players towards the end of the season, or do we fucking high seed it, play every game as to the fullest, and then, you know, the playoffs comes, we want, like, it makes you feel like you won your league because you seeded. Because then you go to the playoff, so then you go to the playoff, and it's like, okay, if you seed these teams, and we saw him, what my dad says, oh, look, they're playing against the 8th place team, and they beat them, and I was like, well, yeah, well, see, they did it through the 2 games.
Yeah.
But through the aggregate.
Well,
and that's the beauty of some of those games because, like, the 8th place or 6th place team is like, oh, shit, we didn't think they were going to beat them.
I remember now. I think I remember why I agreed to it with you in that sense. Because theirs is a league in the sense. Whereas this is a separate thing. Champions League. Because every team has their league.
Well, yeah,
No. But I'm saying I guess it makes sense for the MX League because that's all in the sense that they have in some sense because they also have their side trophies and side tournaments and stuff like that. But they don't. I mean, they have a Champions League, but let's be honest, is it really I mean, it's kind of gotten a little bit better in the last couple of years, but
no, actually, looking at it, it's not even really a Champions League. It's a playoff league. It's a playoff of 2 games. So it's like around 32 teams. It's not an actual league like this, like Champions League.
I thought they had like the group stage.
They did, but then it changed. They just put their champion teams up there, and they go.
Oh, they changed it again.
Yeah, they do 2 teams.
Okay.
Because it's not enough teams. Like you're talking about, like
Oh yeah,
the Budas League and like
yeah.
They're not
No,
gonna do those
well, that's what I'm
teams.
saying. I think that's why I think it's beneficial. I guess you could say for their league because that's in the sense all they have. That's all they got. That's their entertainment. That's their this because over here it's like. Well, you got the regular league, like, you know, the French league, the La Liga, the Munich league, the Premier League. And that's entertaining, obviously, in that aspect. But then you go Champions League, it's obviously the level and all those things. So I guess that's why, in terms of the comparison of the two, there's more to play for, I guess, in Champions League. And
I'm not disagreeing with that. My whole thing was the system and the idea of how
well, that's
thought of it.
No, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. With the MX League, I think that's why that's okay, and it works that way because of what they have. That's all they have. We're over here, it's like, I really hope they don't go that seeded route because that's just going to be disaster over here.
Champions?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can't because, like, in its group stages,
Yeah.
You're talking about a whole one league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about literally the systemic.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I guess what I was saying in terms of the comparison. Like, they're two generally different things in the terms of how they run that system. Because it makes sense to do it in the league that they have. Because that's what they have. That's all they have.
I was wondering if that could have been, I don't know, at one point I was wondering why doesn't the rest of the fucking world do this? Like the English Premier.
Do the playoffs and stuff like that? Because like I said, they have all these other things. They have this, they have the Europa League, they still have their tournaments and their own thing. Where over here on this side, they don't have that. They have it, but it's not at a higher standard as these guys have it. Because over there, if you ever see them play the Champions League sometimes, they don't send all their teams sometimes. They send like all the younger guys that don't ever get to play, and then they go and beat those teams. Where here, you can't do that. You can only do that if you've really won all the way till your last game, and then you, like United did in the last game. They didn't send any starters. They literally took the academy team.
I know you said that. I'm just like, you had to re-say it again because I'm so hungover. I really just heard you say it twice, and I'm like, okay, I got it.
Okay.
I'm so hungover.
Oh my god. Jesus. But piggybacking off of that now, they just announced the South American teams are now going to be in the UEFA Nations League, which is the dumbest thing ever.
That's like,
I don't agree with that.
The Nations League, right?
Yeah.
This
thing is
Nations League.
it's like you do it in a time where it's like we
It's just
wanted
too many
it.
games.
We wanted it in the sense before. But it's like, well, now we don't want it anymore because Messi and Ronaldo are gonna leave, and that's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see both of them play.
Yeah, for
like
Argentina. And
yeah,
Portugal.
like we wanted to see them go at it. We
Yeah.
don't care about the Argentina, Italy after these two.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to see this anymore? So they're doing it because I really think they caught wind of what happened with Messi winning Argentina and Italy winning, and somebody brought it up that these two should play an exhibition match or a champion game match after. And when they brought because of so much how much it generated and views or entertain whatever, it became something. And now they're doing this, and I really think it's the dumbest thing ever because now what you're telling me is you might as well put all the teams and just do a World Cup every year now.
That's what they're trying to push.
I think
they're trying here. I also think they're trying to realize, oh shit, Messi and Ronaldo will be gone one day. And we needed to surpass all of what they done in some ways.
I don't want it to become the NFL where I don't care anymore. And it's like, just tell me when the final is because that's all I'll care about. Because everybody's going to play every goddamn game. And it's like everyone's going to lose now. Like, I don't care. I don't want that. I don't. Like, I really don't. If they do this to a World Cup, it's going to make me hate the World Cup. That was the one thing since we were kids, every 4 years, it's like, the World Cup's coming. Oh my God. And it was like the best month and a half that we would always look into every 4 years. We stopped our lives for that because it's just that entertaining to watch. But now that you're telling me it's going to be every year, it's like, we can get the same teams to play each other every year. And it's like, ugh, I don't really want to watch this anymore because it's the same shit. I want to see different. I want to see upsets. I want to see underdogs. I want to see surprises. And that's what you get in the World Cup every year.
Yeah.
And especially with teams that come in, it's like right now, like with this whole Italy and Portugal. 2 big ass teams one of them's not going in. Yeah, man. One of them is not going in. And it's like, holy shit.
Who's gonna be it?
But if we do this thing now, it's like, well, everyone gets a chance. Everybody gets to play. Okay, let me know when they get to the final. Let me know who's in the final. I don't care if Italy beats Portugal. They're all gonna play eventually and get to the final. Like that's what it's gonna be, and I hope it. I really hope it doesn't, but I fear that it's going in that direction. I really fear it's going in that direction, and it's gonna suck. Because now you're talking about, I don't know how they're gonna do their seasons, but you're talking about teams like you just said. It's too many games. They're gonna play a shit ton of games every year now, and we're never gonna get that entertainment of. Whoa, did you see that? Like, Angola beat Uruguay? Like, what the hell? like right now, Qatar, like, the African Cup or anything that just passed?
Is it Arab?
Or the Arab Cup? I think it was the Arab Cup.
Arab Cup.
The Arab with Qatar and Algeria. Like, that was pretty entertaining. I was a little surprised by that. I saw some of the highlights. I was like, whoa, okay, Qatar. I got high hopes for you guys. Let's see how you do in the World Cup. I'm really pulling for you guys.
See what the guys can do.
I'm really pulling for you guys. Like if they go and do well, like whoever they draw, like that would be a shock. But now if you just go every year, it's like Qatar. Okay, all right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But what I do know, is that's not going to start until 2024 though. The South America teams going into the Nations League with
right.
So that's not start. So again, even then, 2024. I mean, is Ronaldo and Messi still going to be around in 2 more years?
Maybe Ronaldo.
Maybe Ronaldo. I don't know about Messi, but still, it's like the thing we all wanted in the years past. I think happened off a friendly, right? When Portugal and Argentina played. It was like a friendly game.
The last time they played each other?
Yeah. Wasn't it a friendly game?
Yeah, it was like a friendly game.
But it was never a full
it was at
competition.
It was at Tottenham.
Yeah. See, so
it was
it's
just
like,
a friendly game.
But now it's like, oh, we wanted this 10 years ago, guys. You guys couldn't, I mean, with all the corruption you guys had, you guys couldn't just draw them together in the World Cup.
Hold on. We could have just had them in the fucking Champions League. The first drawing.
I know. Jesus.
I was like, yes, we're going to beat them. They're like, no, we can't do this right now. No, we gotta wait till they're done.
I know.
Wait, redo that.
I don't know. I don't agree with this merger because
it's just too much.
It's too much.
And players already talked about it. I don't know if you saw an interview last season, or I don't know if it was last season or the beginning. Courtois. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
And he straight up said that you guys are asking us for too much. You guys are asking us to get played. We're like, we're gonna get injured.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly if he said something like related to Ericsson when.
Yeah.
But I think it's too much. I haven't delved into in detail, but even Joe Rogan's have mentioned it, that apparently he didn't mention about all these games, but he mentioned that a lot of soccer players are having issues playing too much because of the way the sport is and how it's evolving. That a lot of players have been collapsing.
Yeah.
Like the Ericsson one. Yeah. I don't know. There was another guy, Aguero. And
there's been
a couple of guys I haven't checked into
not
detail,
like big names, but I know who I've heard.
And I saw a video on some other on a practice. He was walking. He was just high fiving the players, and he just fucking collapsed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. To do all that, that's just to certain players, and just to be too much. You're talking about like over 100. If you put that in there, it's like you're talking about over 100 games in one calendar year.
Yeah, that's too much.
That's insane.
Yeah,
like as much as I love to have soccer to be more exposed and like out there for people, it's just I think they're overdoing it.
Oh yeah,
obviously we can agree with that, but I think they're overdoing it in a sense where again, like, I think they're realizing like, okay, like you said, oh, why didn't you guys do this 10 years ago with them? Now they're leaving and they're gonna get retired soon with Messi and Ronaldo. So it's like maybe they're just trying to fucking realize, okay, these guys are gone. They're the most 2 fall soccer players in the world. and we're not gonna have them anymore. So what the fuck do we do to make soccer more? I don't know, get more revenue back or get more people to just keep watching. As you know, that whole like stupid Super League and all that shit is. It's like, well, we can only like do so much. But at the same time, I'm the type of person that's like, well, how often are you going to keep it like this for 100 years?
Yeah.
And not have any changes? I just think in soccer and stuff like this, I think they should just do changes that are necessary and common sense. Like like that's common sense. Like, okay, we've been waiting for that change.
Yeah.
Like, that's obvious that you needed to change this. You know what I mean? Like, I actually like that they kept the 5 subs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good change.
I always wondered, like, I know we watched past games too, and I'm sure we're gonna say it similar. Oh, there was these games, and obviously, if that sub didn't get like, imagine if we could have had 5 subs in that time.
Yeah,
like wow, like I like that because there's more players get to play, and it's just really changed the dynamic of the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It changes the dynamic of the game now because you're talking about a team that, you know, there's 5 throughout the game. You know, somebody gets hurt or just some guy's not playing well, and you change this, you change that, and kind of change everything. And yeah, the game changes completely almost in a sense, and it can swing the momentum easily. But yeah, just this whole new added thing, I don't like it. Because now that they're talking about the whole 2 years of World Cup, and then eventually with this thing, it's like, well, I mean, it's really those teams, if you really think about it, that are always in the last round. It's Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, you know, Colombia. Those teams are generally the ones that tend to be competing against France, Germany, Italy, Portugal, those teams, whatever. So now it's like I said, I don't want it to become like the NFL of freaking soccer every year. It's like, well, this is that one league that they all play. I don't care about the first 5 games now. Tell me when it gets to the playoffs.
You know, I'm gonna throw this in there. It came up to me that you bring out like the NFL. I had this again, random stupid talk on social media about something. I forgot what post it was. It was on Twitter, and the person was saying something about. Oh no! They were comparing, I think Messi's Ballon d'Or to like Wayne Gretzky's champions and what's the all the other people that have like 7s and stuff and all their major championships. So they were comparing Messi to U.S. sports.
Yeah.
There was like a little meme or little.
I think I saw that
a little photo, right? And then I saw that. I was like, you guys can't do that. And then someone says, "What are you talking about?" I was like, it's a U.S. sport. They don't play the rest of the world. And they're like. The guy kept saying, like, obviously there's no other league like champions. I was like, yeah. But you guys know, like, American sports can't ever be compared to Champions League or the Ballon d'Or award. Like, no, that's not the same shit. Yeah. Like Jordan getting 7 NBA MVPs is not the same as Messi getting his 7 because he played it against the world. And they're like, no, do you know that these players are coming from the world? I was like, no, that doesn't matter, man. That's like people saying that you're an American, but I came from Mexico because I'm an immigrant. Yeah. Like, but I'm in America. I live in this system now. Yeah. It's not like I'm bringing all of fucking Mexico like this. Yeah. So like I was trying to call, like he was trying to come back with it, like, oh no, like this person, like he kept saying like because I was like, why do they call it the World Series? And he said that, and I was like, no, like. You guys have an actual tournament now for the U.S. baseball that plays against other teams in the world, right? So he was like saying, he was just being more ignorant until I finally said, you know what? This is what I'm going to tell you then. I was like, there's one person in the world that literally called out players. And here's that. As much as I don't like, I'm not a Messi fan. And if you got the 7th, great. Kobe's the only player that says there's actual athletes that don't give a shit and are playing to keep their money.
Oh yeah. And
he said when some players told me that, it was in a podcast that Kobe was saying this. He said, well, I'm taking advantage. It's easy for me. Like I'm going in hard and showing my thing. Like you're telling me you're not going to give your 400?
Yeah.
Then I told that and that guy never replied again. I told him, listen to what he said. He's like, I told him the U.S. sports. I told them they have no regulation. They have no promotion. Yeah. Like, you can have the Browns fucking lose 15 years in a row and still be there. And you're telling me those guys are fucking competing? No, they're getting their checks. Yeah. And you're telling me that's against the world?
Yeah.
And that's when I would put the Kobe thing in there and the guy never replied.
Yeah.
And I told him too, like, look, I got on your page. You look like you talk about sports, man, but the fact that you don't know about this part that Kobe said, U.S. sports is great for U.S., but you guys can't compare Messi to all these U.S. sports. Yeah. You can't compare Brady and Messi. You just can't.
Yeah.
Brady's gonna play in a league that's just playing there.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I said too, like, there's no football around the world like American football because it just doesn't get to that point.
Yeah.
But the fact if you guys had it like this and like you can't compare it.
No. I don't think you can. I mean, as much as people want to try, and I guess you could say in terms of the individual aspect of like, we could probably just go off of like work ethic, okay, but it's like in terms of what they play against, you know, yeah, you can easily see it. Some teams, it's like, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here.
There's players like that.
It's like it's like the Cedric Entertainment joke. You want me to show up in a clown suit? Yeah, that's all there. That's all there. Waka. That's a running joke that he has, but it's like it's true.
It's true because I remembered.
Hold on. There was a year.
I remember this too now because it came back to me when I was typing or tweeting back to this. It reminded me of all the fucking Cowboys that got signed after 4 years. Barber, the running back, he was having an amazing year, but once he got that check money, like they fell off.
Yeah,
all the Cowboys that got signed, they all fell off.
Yeah,
like because that's what when Kobe said, I was like, huh, holy shit, yeah, there are players that don't. Carmelo Anthony, I don't think he gives a shit.
Oh no.
He's been in the leagues as long as LeBron, but LeBron's literally better than him, obviously. But now, come on, you're like, hey, LeBron said, "I was like, hey, I think it's time we play together." Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? You just want to play already? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's like, dude, like these. I was just getting like not frustrated, but I was just really trying my best to tell this dude like you can't compare American sports to world soccer at all, dude.
No.
In any aspect of because these players literally play around the world and around different conditions against other world players.
Yeah.
So to say that, no, like I can agree Michael Jordan's the best player, the best NBA, best basketball player in the world, because we've only seen that type of player and we've seen him play again in the Olympics, right? So that's kind of somewhat there, but they don't have a Champions League every year. Yeah. So I was trying to tell this guy too. So it's, sorry, you're about to say something?
No, in the terms of like, because there was a year, I think it was like a couple of players that were getting, what happened? They were getting docked for their uniforms. And then they started to show up to the games and show up to the interviews in like almost in clown suits. I think I think it was like Westbrook or I think Clinton Portis did it. A couple of players like showed up like in wigs and glasses, just like some clown outfit.
Clinton Portis, I remember he did that shit too.
Because they were getting fined for not wearing what they were supposed to, and it's like, shit, I'll show up in a clown suit and I'll still perform or whatever, and I'll still do my job or whatever. Because there's players obviously that are there for the love of the sport and don't care about the check. But then yes, what you just said about Kobe, there is that other side of players that are like, yeah, I'm here for a check, man. Yeah. I'm just here to get my check and just go home. That's it.
It is what it is. I mean, I really don't think like every single basketball player in the NBA is like 100% gonna give her their all. They're just there's players that like I'm just saving as much as I can after this.
Yeah, because I think they see what happens with some of these guys, and it's like, well, shit, this is all I got after this. I mean, if I don't really get anything else,
we don't know exactly how they think, but at the same time, like we said, like. You don't want soccer to be like the NFL. We don't want it to be like that same team winning all the time or not getting regulated. Promoted. So it's like like of course in the American sports, like even in the MLS, it's like, dude, the last place team still get to play. Like, okay, like what the fuck? Like it's just odd. It's you know what I mean? Like just the system of it is just odd.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's weird because when I go to my barbershop and they talk about like football and like I'm just like one of them asked me, is this a guy that's always in there, the barbershop, just some guy just comes and starts talking sports and shit. And he was just like, bro, you a Cowboy fan? Because my barber's a Cowboy fan too. He's like, oh yeah, like so we chime in and he's like, oh, how do you feel about I was like, to be honest with you, man, I've changed my thought process on like American sports, I'm gonna watch it because it's still an entertainment there.
Yeah.
But I think the care of it and the interest how I used to have it has obviously changed. I think it was like, I want to say maybe 5 years ago for me, when like I was diving in more into soccer of how it's regulated, this and that, and like the play, like all that came into place. And I just told the guy, I was like, oh yeah, man, to be honest with you, I didn't even know the fucking Cowboys played last week, but okay, we won, cool. Like, you're telling me they're gonna go to the Super Bowl, all right.
Yeah. Well, that's how I am.
So we don't want that.
I remember when I was younger, I would watch like Monday Night Football and Sunday. You know, I would watch it. I mean, I didn't really have a team, but I would watch it.
Yeah.
But then after a while, just like, I mean, we got some of the same teams that keep playing. I mean, I've seen Tom Brady for like 30 years already. Brett Favre, I think, was still in the league.
I know this is a soccer podcast and we're talking about other sports right now, but we're just trying to really make you guys understand that I know there's people out there that watch American sports. There's nothing completely knocking out like saying don't watch it. I just think we have dissected soccer in so much in a different way that at least I watch another sport, like I said earlier, it's just not giving me that same feel throughout the whole season of looking at it. When they put up the conferences and the schedules and the wins and losses, it's literally like how Ted Lasso said in his commercials, like you're telling me there's wins, there's ties, and there's losses, and there's no playoffs. It's literally like, why even do this? Right? It's like, but in this round, it's like you're telling me there's wins and losses and a playoffs, but no one gets regulated.
Yeah.
Why even do this?
Yeah,
exactly. You're just doing this to get money then. I'm like, what the fuck's going on right now? Like,
well, yeah. Yeah, and then that kind of brings up the other thing that I was, I don't know, I don't think you were there. I don't know if you were there. That I brought this up. I said, U.S., as far as I know, is the only sport that celebrates semifinal wins and wins before that. Like, they celebrate like if it was a championship.
Yeah.
They're the only. We're watching the MLS game, and it was the semifinal game, and someone's, I don't know, I think New York won. And they're celebrating like it's the final. I'm like, well, why are they celebrating? I was like, oh, and I think Ronaldo or my dad was like, well, they won their conference or their side. I was like, so?
Yeah.
Like, that's not the final.
Exactly.
I was like, you're telling me you just won the semifinal game. Great. I'm like, who celebrates the semifinal game? I'm like, I don't get it.
It's like, what is it? It's like I don't know.
I get it's their conference and their side, but it's like you're the best on your side. Okay, but it's like you still play everybody on the other side throughout the year.
It's I don't know the exact word. I can't even find it, but it's like an American thing to have. What's that fucking word? Consolation.
Oh.
It's like, you know how like, hey, you did good. Here, you get this.
No.
Oh, thank you for participation points, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, because I always noticed that too as I grew up. I was like, okay, so like, should we talk shit because we got conference champs, but we didn't win the final?
Yeah.
Because like that would make more sense if we actually played somebody against the rest of the world, but you're playing the same fucking teams every year.
Yeah.
So there's no point to celebrate this. And Kobe even said that.
Oh, that was my favorite thing.
Yeah,
When the year that they interviewed him and they're like, "You're up 2-0. You're not smiling. What's going on?" I'm not fucking done. What the fuck is that? So what? I won 2 games. Anything can fucking happen.
I mean,
the job's not. The best thing he said was, "Job's not done," and everybody uses it now. But it was the best thing I've ever saw out of him. I mean, I'm sure he's always had that mentality.
Mamba mentality.
But to see it then and there and that moment, and even like the reporters were like, "You guys are like dominating the game." Like, so we won this one game. What do I have to celebrate about? Like, you know. And it was funny. I just saw it the other day too, when it just popped up when I guess when he was retired and the Lakers were like on a 8-game losing streak, and they finally won a game, and they were interviewing the guys, and the guys were all like celebrating, yeah, we're back in the building, like all this.
Was that Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, with the Jimmy Kimmel, and he's like watching the screen. He goes,
he's like mad. He was really.
He's
mad.
like pissed. Like you could just see it. Like I would never allow my team to do that. Like that's ridiculous. Like why would you be celebrating one win? And but again, it just goes to show what like you just said, like who he was and what he is, and it's like. That's why I always appreciated, I guess you could say, the sports outside of America, because there's more at hand, there's more at stake, there's more, drive to go to the final than anything else. If you lose, yeah, it's disappointing. And I again, and like, the one I criticized the most was baseball. I'm like, they go into playoffs and they celebrate like
The
if they
conference
won.
champ,
Just going into playoffs
They
and they
bottle open like
champagne. I'm
like,
like, what are you celebrating, guys? You got into playoffs. Great. I'm happy for you. Fantastic. If I was a fan, yes, my team got into playoffs. Woohoo! But if you don't win the whole damn thing, I don't get why they do that every single series. They do a champagne thing every single series. And I think somebody told me like, oh, they play so many games. Why do they play so many games?
Yeah, what the fuck's the point of that?
Well, our brother's really into it. I always tell her text shit. I was like, well, Caesar.
Oh yeah.
I was like, he's into baseball, and it's like, why do the Dodgers have to play the Giants 30 times, man? 30 times? Because they won 29 and lost that one? Like the one Giants get to brag about?
Again, it's as we're talking about this, I'm thinking even more now. It's literally the mindset and the mentality of the cultures that sports have. Again, going back to soccer, and even it's funny because even the Ball brothers said this when they were in Lithuania.
Yeah.
What was the difference? Is that those players were fighting for spots all the time because they were hungry because they didn't know if they were going to go up or down.
Yeah.
As opposed to like in America, it's like, I don't know, you just keep doing your best, keep rocking out, keep balling, and you're going to keep going this way.
Yeah.
And if you still go that way and you're going on a shitty team, you will still be good.
Yeah.
Like you personally, you as a player will
Yeah.
still go somewhere, as opposed to like the whole team just fucking collapsing because
Yeah.
they didn't make it that far.
Yeah.
So the mentality of playing a sport in the rest of the world is like, we're fighting mainly all together to keep and staying up with the best players that we can get.
Yeah.
As opposed to like out here, it's systematically like saying if you're the greatest, you're going to still be the greatest somehow unless you leave a shitty team and go there and go there.
Yeah.
Like, but you're playing this one league. So again, going into what that thing about Kobe that you just mentioned, like those young players, they don't give a shit. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they're going to get their check. It was 0-8, and they made a little happy ending at that when they won their first game. And it's like, well, I'm still getting paid 5 point some mil for the rest of the season, and we're 0-8.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's no stress for me.
Yeah.
Unless you're a type of shitty player that you know that coach and that system's like, all right, he's not really
Yeah.
doing for us, but he can go still get his money somewhere else.
Yeah.
As opposed to like,
Well, I mean, there's players obviously, that are there for the money, and there are those players that get there that really work for it, but just never hit that peak. I mean, there's plenty of players like that. We're not trying to say like every player is like that, because we hear stories of like I'll use Jeremy Lin for example. He was his story is that he slept on his friend's couch. He didn't know he was gonna go pro. He made it pro. It took him 13 some years to be in the pros to finally win a championship. They didn't really get to play. But the thing is, he wasn't that kind of guy to be like, I'm there for a check. He's always been the kind of guy that wanted to be a superstar and play and whatever.
Oh, the Asian dude.
The Asian dude.
Lin, sorry.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's players like him that they fight for whatever every single time and everything, but never really hit that peak. But then there's those that are far talented enough to be like, this guy over here is really trying. I'm about doing 25%. And I'm still better than what he is. I'm fine where I'm at. And it's sad. It's sad to see that. I don't. That's why. That's why like I said, I've tuned away from the NBA, the NFL. I mean, I might go back into just going into the hockey.
I mean, they don't get regulated either.
I mean, they don't get regulated.
You know what they do? They pop teams every 3 years. Like, what the fuck? Nashville? Las Vegas? There's ice in Las Vegas?
I mean, I might go into that now, but they're turning into the MLS, it looks like.
Hockey?
Yeah.
Hockey? Because they let you fight.
That's probably the only thing I would want to see.
They let you fight. That's some real brothers playing that game.
That's the best joke I think I've ever
hockey.
seen. That was one of the best jokes.
They just let you fight.
You see a brother out there just on skates, not even a stick.
I wish you would. I wish you would. That was hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh man, but yeah, that's funny, huh? That's the only sport that you can fight in besides boxing.
You think so?
Like they let them fight.
Yeah.
I want to. I gotta get in. I gotta read that. Like, what was the purpose of that?
I don't even think they get thrown out of the game.
Well, they go to the penalty box.
I think so.
They don't get kicked out.
Like they get kicked out.
Ejection.
Yeah.
Apparently, if they do something even worse than the fight, they get ejected.
Yeah.
Which is like, what is worse than the fight? You guys fucking punching me, dude. I want my teeth. The guy's what's worse than this? Is he gonna take out like a fucking Happy Meal? He's gonna take off his skate and fucking slice him? You know, I'm the only hockey player who's ever done that. I have the record for that. Oh shit! But yeah, man, what the fuck? Imagine if like they threw that in soccer. They let you fight.
Oh my god, right? What a different game that would be. I mean, that's like that's kind of why I steered away from some of the sports now. Cause
well, no, what's no, Formula One's a world sport, really, right?
Formula One?
It's world.
Yeah, it is world because they go to all different countries, literally every.
The only thing is odd to me that's only X amount of cars is the whole league.
20?
Right.
No, sorry. It's technically 10.
But out of the world, you know what I mean? Like it's
technically 10 teams, but two cars per team. So there's 20 drivers, whatever. But that one's even crazier too because it's like. With them, I mean, for them, it's life and death, man. You're going 200 some miles an hour, and if you have a bad turn, you can die. So
I'm in the air again. This is not good. Where's that from?
Ricky Bobby.
I'm in the air again. This is not
good. Oh my god. Oh man, that's hilarious.
But yeah, what else? Was that mostly it, or what we got going?
I think that was it in terms of what I can remember to talk about and what was left,
we missed out.
What we missed out on
2 weeks because the last podcast really ended right when the Ballon d'Or was a couple days later. And then the draws and then whatever games that happened. Well, we didn't really get to talk about. I mean, I don't know how long it will take, but how do you feel about the? I mean, he hasn't really had any much games. That new coach
for United.
Was he? He wasn't there when we did the last podcast, right? Or was he?
No, because I think Oli was still. No, they did sack him.
2 weeks
They did sack him. We did talk about him, but he wasn't there yet.
Oh, because Carrick was still there. So
Carrick did the last game.
And then I know
he's only had a couple games.
What do you think?
I don't think it's gonna be anything.
Do you think
it's gonna be a slight change because with every team when they lose a coach, as far as I've seen. You see kind of like a breath of fresh air the next couple games. Like the team tends to pick up a little bit. They do a little bit better, but then it kind of stays stabled out. Some they obviously peak better. Things like that happens. But this guy's only here for 2 years, and he's not going to be there, long term. So it's like I don't think it's going to change somewhat of a dynamic, but it's like it doesn't seem like it's going to be fully beneficial because the mindset is, okay, let me finish off this year. Next year, if he coaches, or they bring in a new coach, but then he's going to be there like as a representative to really give them a direction on where to go, and then he's out. So I feel like this year is just going to be like, okay, I think a lot of it is going to be every player. What you're probably going to most likely see is every player in the sense step up their game because they don't want to get chopped off in terms of like, well, we don't need this kid, or we don't need this guy, or we don't need that guy, which is why I was saying about Ronaldo. Like, now this guy wants to defend because he's been criticized about it. Now the coach that's here that wants that, if he doesn't do it, I feel like this guy is the kind of guy that's like, if you're not cutting it, dude, I don't care who you are, you're off.
Dude, he was defending the whole time he got there.
Yeah, okay. But anyways, I feel like he's finally started to really do that. And again, he did it, which is fine. It's great. I'm glad that he's doing it because now he could really show himself a little bit more in the sense of what he's, more than capable of doing than what we've already seen, which is good. And now everyone else around again is going to have to step it up and hopefully, perform and do well. So, like I said, it could be beneficial to that aspect where it's like everyone's on the chopping block. Anybody can go, and if you're not playing at your best, you're gone. Which is now going to bring out the best out of a lot of other players, probably, and we'll see who really needs to be let go and who really can stay. But we'll just see in the terms of what he brings in, because I don't know if they're bringing in anybody in January, and if they're I'm assuming they might let players go in January. Either they loan them out or trade them off or sell them or whatever. But it's now about who they bring in and what can they bring in, and then how they just go about it from there. So
I think he'd be all right, this coach. I think if he does well, which it looked like he is, because he's going to not the easy part of the stage of the season, because he wasn't there with the hard games. But I think if he does well and he goes far in champions or wins champions, I'm pretty sure they'll keep him. We'll see. I mean, pretty much Cristiano's still doing everything for the team.
Sure.
Dude, he's having interviews with Sir Alex. The coach hasn't even had a fucking interview with Sir Alex.
Everybody wants an interview with Sir Alex.
Like,
I want an interview with Sir Alex.
Only Cristiano can. Did you see it?
I just saw like highlights of it. I haven't had a chance to really
Like
watch it.
9 minutes, 10 minutes.
I'll probably watch it later, but I haven't had a chance to watch it. I've been busy, man.
It's literally on your phone.
I've been busy.
It's 8 minutes.
You're gonna watch it. You're
gonna watch it on the drive somewhere.
Probably.
There you go.
Well, right now when I drive home.
There you go. I can put it on. Just listen to it. Dumbass. Man, I got a 10 and 2. Man, I got a 10 and 2. I got a 10 and 2. I can't be watching it. I can further injure myself.
Here. Jeez.
We good?
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah.
We're good.
I believe we're good.
Yeah, we're gonna try to. I mean, we're gonna try to keep doing this because this one coaches.
What?
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm just making sure that I think the time's gonna cut off right now. That's why.
Oh, well, then we're good. Deuces, huh?
Yeah. Well.
Until next time.
Yeah. Until next time, man.
Again, follow, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, man. Out. Check you laters.
Man, we always gotta be like, check you later.